What's up, guys? Good morning. Happy Sunday. I know YouTube has me all the way weird colors over there. It's great. I look like I'm glowing in the dark. Um, Probably because I am. How are you? How was your Valentine's Day? How was your day after? Did you eat too much chocolate? Did you eat too much food? I ate way too much food. I had way too much food. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it, but I woke up this morning and I was trying to decide how I was going to hurt my own feelings today. I was trying to decide how I'm going to hurt my own feelings today. And then I thought, well, you might probably all think about other people's feelings too. So I was like, well, shit, how am I going to hurt all of our feelings today? And I decided I don't want to. I don't want to because usually my Sunday sermons hurt feelings. And this one might hurt some feelings and it might. Okay. We'll just say that. But I didn't have to give my moderators a warning like just letting you know, here's the topic today, gonna hurt your feels. You're gonna call me rude afterwards. But so that's the good thing. I wanted to say that first. But we are going to talk about something that I hope motivates you. I hope motivates you. I hope it motivates you and I hope it helps you get out of whatever funky McFunkertown you're in because I think we're all in funky McFunkertown and it's not a cool place, man. The taxes are high. It's always dark and gloomy here. They don't have any good food. Like, I don't want to be in funky McFunkertown anymore. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to be. So today's sermon is motivation. Pure and simple, straight up motivation. We're going to talk about a once and all. A once and all. Let that sink in a minute. A once in all. Today's sermon is titled Once in All Timeline Moments. Quantum choices and becoming. And yes, we're going to fall down that rabbit hole today. But before we start really getting into stuff, I'm going to give you a little sentencey line to think about. And that is this. You are currently right now where you are standing in a moment that has never existed before. And it will never exist again. Spring is a time to start breathing again. Spring is a time to start living again. Spring is a time to come out from under the rock, out of the cave and start getting back out into the world. Like, you can feel it all around you. You can feel it in the air. You can feel it in the soil. You can feel it in the buggy bugs. You can feel it with everything, right? You can feel it with every single thing that starts to come alive. You can just feel it. You can smell it. I don't know about y'all, but I can walk outside and go, it smells like spring outside. It smells like spring outside. Just like I can walk outside and go, oh, it smells like snow, and I don't like that. You can feel it in your lungs. You can feel it in your heart. You can feel it in your soul. You can feel it in your brain. You can feel it. You just can feel it. And it starts to become like this little bitty restlessness, right? Like, I want to go right now. 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 Move, right? Move. That is the feeling that spring brings. Move. And I need you to really listen to something today, to hear something, because I woke up with this thought in my head. I woke up dehydrated because all I've been drinking is like tea and pop the last few days. So I haven't drank a lot of water. So my kidneys are like, we don't like you right now. My sugar crashed in my sleep, like things like that, right? And I woke up and the first thought I had before I even opened my eyes, I was like, God damn, I'm getting old. Like, geez, like I feel old this morning, right? I feel old. Like there's always something. And then before I opened my eyes, I thought, man, a lot of people don't get to be this old and don't get to complain that their kidneys are hurting or that their leg is crampy or that they're dehydrated. And so I hit the floor with this in my head. I swung my feet over, I put them on the ground, and this is what was in my head. You are never going to be younger than you are right now in this moment sitting here. And you are also never going to be this old again. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. This exact age, this exact moment, this exact breath, this exact configuration of cells, of stars, of wisdom, of scars all over your body, of freckles, of hair. You are never ever going to be this right here ever again. Let that sink in. Because in the next moment, things are going to change on a microscopic level inside of you. You won't know it. You may not know it for 10 years down the road. What microscopic thing changed in you on February 15th, 2026 at 1 p.m. in the afternoon? You don't know. There's no internal like log clock you can go through, right? So right now, you will never be this young again, and you will also never be this old again. You will never be at any given moment in time the same person that you were 5 minutes before or even 5 seconds before, and you will never be the same thing 5 minutes from now. You will never assemble yourself like you are right now in this moment ever again. It's a once in a lifetime moment. I want you to just breathe that in for a minute. Because how many movies and TV shows and books and things like that have you read, seen, etc., and thought, oh God, just to live in a moment like that, a once in a lifetime, just historical moment. Bitch, you're in it right now. Do you think a character in history knew that they were standing in a historical moment right then? Do you think they knew that character in that book? Do you think that they stopped and they really thought like, wow, this is a once in a lifetime moment? No, because they were living, they were existing. And what's funny is this is not just metaphorically. This is not just, let's speak in the most glorious, beautiful language about life. It is not just like that. It's just your existence. It's existentially, it's cosmically, it's quantumly. In quantum theory, there's a there's a principle called superposition. And I know that when I talk about quantum physics, sometimes you guys are like, oh, well, I'm going to check out because that's above my pay grade. No, it's not, because you deal with it, you live it, you see it on a moment to moment basis. So superposition is the idea that particles exist in multiple states until they're observed. And I want you to think about yourself. You are the particle. You are the particle. When you are unobserved, who are you? Think about that for a minute. Who are you? I don't need an answer, and you don't need an answer, because there isn't one. Because there isn't one. People struggle with who they are, but guess what? There isn't just one version of you. In that moment, I want you to just close your eyes just for a second, okay? In this moment right now, every possibility of you exists. Every single one. Every single one. It doesn't matter if it is the one that is going to sit on the couch all day. It doesn't matter if it is the one that's going to go find a cure for cancer today. It doesn't matter if it is the one that's going to stank the house up with, the nasty rank gas you had from Valentine's dinner last night. It doesn't matter if you're the one that's going to go get in a car accident. Doesn't matter, does it? Because right now, in this moment, you are everything and nothing at the same time, because you are not observing you. You are everything at one time. Every possibility exists until you decide. Until you decide. When you make a choice, when you speak a word, when you step forward instead of shrinking, when you go to bed instead of going out, when you speak up instead of letting it slide, When you make any choice, you collapse all of those possibilities into one reality. So all those movies you love, all those sci-fi movies that you love, where people are like, "Oh, I want to choose this timeline, and I want to choose this timeline, and I want to go here and here and here and here and here." You have that power right now, right now, in inside of you, in the palm of your little hand. You have that power. Now you're like, well, then why can't I go to the timeline where my mom didn't pass away, or why can't I go to the timeline where I don't know, I live in some great island, somewhere in a big mansion? Because you can't control other people's decisions, can you? When you make a conscious decision to do something, you collapse all those things into reality, because now you are observing the particle. You are the particle. You are observing the particle. Now, there are a lot of different interpretations about this. Like y'all have heard about the many worlds theory and the bubble theory and the string theory and all that stuff. And every choice suggests branching timelines. And if you really think about it in that way, if you are the particle, and until you consciously decide and you consciously take yourself and observe yourself doing something, then technically all of those theories could be true, could be possible, correct? If every one of those theories leads back to the same thing, that once the particle is observed, then that timeline is set, then technically they're all correct, aren't they? Aren't they? What you do right now, in this moment, in the next moment, tomorrow's moments, every single thing affects every version of you that ever existed and ever will exist. Every could have been, every almost, every someday, every maybe, every no, and every yes. My friend, I want you to listen to me really carefully, okay? You don't just move forward in time. You don't just put one step in front of the other and just keep going and keep trudging through the same timeline over and over and over. You reverberate with power. You reverberate with power, with all of the power of the entire universe and the millions of cells that make you. There is an Alan Watts quote that I felt was perfect for this, and that is, you are an aperture moving through, you are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself. Because you are both in the universe and of the universe. You are not in the universe and in the universe. You are the universe and you are in the universe. So what are you doing in the universe today? What is the universe doing through you today? Are you motivating someone else? Are you taking a day to let your body repair? Are you going shopping? Are you paying bills? Are you exploring your own courage? Or are you reinforcing hesitation? There is something called an angel moment. And when I came across this, it's so really funny. This is why I love life. Because in all my 49 and 1 month years, 49 years, 1 month and 3 days, I'm always learning something new. I'm always coming across something new. I'm always finding some new thing that makes my brain go, That's what I chase. That's what I chase. The thing that makes my brain go, what the fuck? That's what I'm addicted to. That's what I chase. But there's a thing called an angel moment. And I want you to think about it and like the sacred minting of time. You know how when coins are made on a press, they're struck every, I don't know, minute or whatever. A new coin. Well, what if that's time? What if all of those things are time? That time has never circulated before. Never ever. It's a brand new moment. It's a brand new moment in time, a brand new shiny coin that you just got. It's never touched anybody else's hands. No one has ever seen it. It is yours alone, and you are the very, very first person to have this coin, to see this coin. It's newly minted. It has that fresh new time smell. But here's the thing. It's blank. It's blank. It's just a blank coin. And it's your job to stamp onto that coin what it is that you want that moment to then become in history. You have godlike powers and don't even realize it. You are constantly handed a blank coin, an angel moment, every single moment. And what you choose to stamp on it is what will exist and be the imprint of that throughout your history. So if you stamp gratitude on it, then all of those time pieces that come after it are going to hold the imprint of the gratitude. But what happens if you stamp resentment on it? Are you stamping action on it? Are you stamping delay? Are you stamping some boldness, some amazing new feeling, new thing? Or are you stamping fear? Whatever you stamp on this coin becomes its imprint. And then it lives in time, in your timeline, for your universe, as this is the moment that I decided that I'm no longer going to do this. This is the moment I decided that I'm going to go back to school, or I'm going to move, or I'm going to whatever. Or this is the moment that I gave up. This is the moment that I let resentment and fear and hate become the driving factor behind what I'm doing. And you can't reuse that moment once you stamp it. You can't go, oh, wait, and pull it back and erase it. It's gone. You won't ever see it again. You can only consecrate it and let it be what it was. You can't change it. There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. And I know that we hear things very similar to this all the time, and they don't sink in until they sink in. And that is this. You could leave this life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. And that's not a morbid way of thinking or looking at things. It's motivating. I was on the phone with Sass the other day, and I was straight up having a pity party. I was pissed off. I was cranky. It was rainy. It was shitty outside, and I felt shitty inside. And I was like, well, blah, 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 blah. And everything was horrible, right? I mean, not everything, but you know what I'm saying. I was straight up having a pity party, right? Straight up having a pity party. And I was bitching about, my head hurting all the time. And I was bitching about the migraines. And I was bitching about having fucking diabetes. And I was just bitching, right? And sometimes you need that pity party. Sometimes you need that shitty pity party. And I guess I was overdue because I needed it. And then as I was sitting there, I thought, bitch, you are lucky to be alive. And I caught myself and I said, you know what? I shouldn't bitch, because there was a time, and in other timelines, I don't exist. There was a time When I was 18 years old, I thought I was 19, and my dad reminded me, no, you weren't. You had only been out of high school like 6 months. There was a time when I was 18 years old that I died. Meningitis is a bitch. They had to bring me back. And then I died again. And they had to bring me back. And somehow I managed to choose myself wisely into the timeline where I can still walk. Where I can still walk. Where I'm alive, I exist, I'm here. I don't have permanent brain damage. I didn't have to relearn everything. I didn't have amnesia. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on because some people don't get that luxury with meningitis. And I thought, you know what? If what I got from meningitis was migraines and epilepsy and, some weird little things with my brain, super spicy brain, awesome. 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 If what I got from meningitis was that, and what I got from meningitis was synesthesia, and yeah, is it so bad as I get older that I can't do certain things anymore? Yeah. But you know what? Other people didn't get that choice. And I sat there in the car in the rain at the stoplight, having that moment that I needed to have because I needed to not be in that shitty pity party anymore. It's okay to have a pity party, man. It's okay to have a pity party. It's okay to have a day where you're down. It's okay to feel the feels, because if you don't feel the feels, then you're stamping resentment on that coin, aren't you? It's okay to feel the feels. It's okay to stamp a coin that is sad. It's okay to stamp a coin that is mad at the universe. It's okay to stamp a coin that is something, but it's not okay to live and continue to stamp that coin in that pity party, in that anger, in that sadness, in that whatever. Because every single moment that you exist, is rare and sacred and amazing and a once in a lifetime moment that never, ever, ever, ever will exist. You are observing it, and you are the one that is making it into what it needs to be. And for some people, that thought, that idea is very motivating, and for some people that thought and that idea is it makes you just kind of sit back and go, let me sink this in a minute. Let me brain this a minute, right? In quantum physics, there's a thought experiment called quantum immortality. And I know that most of you have heard about it. I know that most of you have heard about it because it's been like the center point of a lot of movies lately and things like that. But do you really know what it is? It is the theory that in other timelines, in other realities, if the you that's in that timeline passes away, then all of your thoughts, energy, etc., memories come to this timeline. So eventually it's like Highlander rules. There can be only one, right? But you get everything that other you had. All its memories, all its knowledge, all its power, all its downfalls, you get all of it, right? It suggests that there's always a timeline that you survive in. Always. So for those of you guys that have lost a parent, there are so many timelines where that parent is still there. There are timelines I am not there. There are timelines you are not there. There are timelines none of us are here. Because let's face it, humans fuck shit up a lot. And And it doesn't matter if you subscribe to this belief or not. It doesn't matter if you are someone that thinks that it's literal physics and they're going to prove it one day, or if it's some philosophical metaphor for life. The lesson behind that idea and the thought process behind it is extremely powerful. That there is always a version of you that survives any fear you have. There is always a version of you that chooses the bold move. There is always a version of you that writes the book, that leaves the job, that moves to another country, that doesn't marry that person or does marry that person, that has 9 kids, that has no kids. There's always a version of you that starts the project that changes the world. And there's a version of you that breaks it. There's a version of you that is locked up. There's a version of you that is very, very, very unkind. There's a version of you that's done horrible things. So which timeline are you feeling like you're in today? Because this year, this spring, 2026 spring, is not going to be some nice, beautiful, gentle spring breeze with the butterflies. Oh, hell no. This year, with all the astrological craziness going on, this is not going to be a calm year. Spring is never really gentle with stagnation anyway, is it? Because spring is what cracks open the seed so the new plants can grow. Spring is what brings the rain to that dry, frozen ground and heals all of the cracks in the ground. Spring is when the new leaves erupt, the baby birds are born. It pushes the green through the stone and the dirt and the muck and the winter. Because nature doesn't ever say, am I ready for spring? Do I have the right outfit? Does my hair look okay? Spring just happens. Nature says, you know what? I am ready for warmth. Bam, today is the day. It responds to warmth, and warmth simply is gratitude. It's simply gratitude. Let that sink in. And I want you to start looking at gratitude as something completely different than you've been taught. Are you ready? I want you to look at gratitude as quantum magnetism. Gratitude is not toxic positivity. Gratitude is alignment. When you are grateful for just being here, having that coin to stamp, right? When you are grateful, not just verbally, but mentally, emotionally, you are literally signaling to the universe, I recognize what is for me. I recognize what you've already brought to me. I recognize what I've worked hard for. I recognize what you've blessed me with. I recognize what you've moved out of my path. And what you recognize, you reinforce. When somebody at your job says, man, you are so good at, writing these types of reports. Like, I've never seen anybody that can get these like structured like this. You kind of do this, right? Like, you're like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, I am the report master, right? Like, so then what? When they ask you to write another report, you knock it out of the park because they're grateful that you can do that, right? And they've told you that. So you amplify that. Think about it. When someone tells you, like, you really suck at blah, 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 blah. For a lot of the time, you're going to try to get better at it, right? Because you're going to be like, well, I don't want to suck at anything because none of us wants to lose. None of us wants to be a failure. So we try to work really hard at that. And then maybe we realize one day, hopefully sooner rather than later, that, yeah, we do suck at that. And it's okay to suck at that because we're fucking phenomenal at that. Gratefulness is signaling to the universe, I recognize what is for me. And what you dwell on, you amplify. Epictetus, and I probably myrtleized that name, has a quote that says, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. My friends, gratitude is reactional alchemy. Gratitude is reactional transmutation. It turns all those delays into preparation. It turns all those rejections into a redirection of your path. It turns all of that winter time into germination for spring. It turns all of that shit into the lotus. And when you radiate that gratitude, you don't just attract what's aligned, you repel what's not aligned. When you radiate that gratitude, you're going to pull in more of that stuff, yes? And what happens in a vacuum? If you pull good stuff to you, the bad shit can't stay. It has to go somewhere, correct? Spring doesn't try to hold on to winter. Spring doesn't cling to it and go, don't leave me, Father Winter. I can't do the flowers this year. It says, watch this. It just becomes warmer. And winter leaves. Correct? Every single year, every single new year, we talk about the threshold and we talk about new beginnings and we talk about what we're going to do and how we're going to be better this year. And then before the end of January, we're like, yeah, but I like tacos and I don't like the gym. I like cigarettes and I don't, I just maybe next year. But I want you to listen really carefully. Doesn't matter if it's in New Year's Eve, if it's the Chinese New Year, if it's the witch's New Year, it doesn't matter. Do you know why it doesn't matter? Because every single moment is a threshold. Every single moment that you exist is a threshold. And right now, this mid-February sunlight is starting to stretch longer and longer and longer. And you're starting to notice it, aren't you? You're starting to feel it. Your cells are regenerating. The soil is softening. You're starting to feel it, aren't you? And you need to realize right now in this moment that you are in a doorway. And you can't stand there forever. You can't stand there forever. I cannot pronounce this person's name. They're Swedish. Soren, with the line through the O. Kierkegaard. I know I have the pronunciation that I wrote out, but I cannot pronounce it, and I don't want to damage that name because it's really pretty. But there's a quote by this person that says, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." You don't have to understand the winter that you just went through. You will later. Do you think your cells, like I talked about at the very beginning of this sermon, understand that the regeneration they're making right now is going to affect you in 10 years? Do you think that your cells, when you put that extra piece of chocolate in your gut today, or you go out in the sun 5 minutes longer than yesterday, or you sit for too long, or do you think your cells at any given moment pay attention to what's going to happen 10 years from now? Nope. Because the cells, the physical you, the cells that make you up that exist right now won't exist in 10 years. They will all have completely regenerated. You will be an entirely new universe. And you will understand then What happened now, right? But the thing is, you have to choose it now. You have to choose it right now. And that's where we get hung up. So, my question to you with this sermon is, if you aren't ever going to be any younger than you are right now, then why are you postponing courage? If you're never going to be this exact age ever again, then why are you shrinking back from what impact you could make in the world? If every single move that you make is going to echo across timelines, is going to affect the very cells that make up the universe that you are, if every single decision that you make is going to affect 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now, if every single decision that you make is going to ripple across every timeline that you exist in and don't exist in, then why not let that ripple be a symphony? Why not let that ripple be amazing? Why make it this little thing like this? Because spring's not going to apologize for getting here. Do you think bold people apologize for their actions that change the world? Do you think bold people apologize for anything at all? Do you think that spring lowers itself down, dims itself down because it might make the winter uncomfortable? Because winter might not be cool with spring making the days a little longer, or maybe daffodil poking up here or there, or some little birds. Do you think spring gives a shit? It arrives. And everything that is ready responds. This spring, there are so many crazy things astrologically that when I really look at them, I'm like, sound like the village crazy lady. There's so many things astrologically that we're seeing the impact of in our world on a huge stage. So this is not just a season change. This is not just us rolling into the next spring, right? This is a frequency shift. This is a frequency shift. And you need to stamp it with gratitude right now, even if you don't feel like it. Even if you are in pity party mode today, you need to stamp that time coin with gratitude every moment today. And the first one I want you to start with is you're alive. You're X amount of years old. Gratitude, 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 gratitude. Stamp it with courage. Stamp it with action. And watch it expand. Watch it grow into these amazing flowers, into this glorious garden. Because there's a version of you in another timeline that's already doing this. There's a version of you in another timeline that's already blooming, that's powerful, that's amazing, that could never, ever understand you being this, well, you know, the world sucks. There's a version of you already blooming, and you have the choice right now in this moment to choose that one. You right now, me right now, all of us right now have the choice, because now we're observing, right? So you have the choice right now to choose that timeline, to choose that timeline where you are. Choose that one. Choose that one. Let this spring find you already on the ground. Let this spring find you already got your running shoes on and you are on the way. Let the universe find that you're stamping those time coins with gratefulness every moment. And I know it's hard, man. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Let time find that you're awake and observing it. We see you. Let this moment right now that you will never be in again, because it's so amazing and it's so powerful. Let this single moment be the moment that you decide that you're going to choose different, that you're going to be more, that you're going to choose to be that amazing, epic version of you. It's Highlander rules for your own quantum selves. It's Highlander rules for your own energy and your own actions. So are you going to be the Highlander holding the sword at the end like, I am the most powerful me that ever made? Or are you going to be one of the ones back there that doesn't have their head anymore? Y'all have never seen the movie Highlander. Go watch the original 80s ones. They're the better ones. What are you going to do with that? Because it is literally up to you. Every moment of every single day. Go be that powerful, amazing, epic beast that you are. Go be that time lord. Go be that powerful witch. Go be that thing that goes bump in the night with all the power. Go be that epic, glorious, amazing version of yourself that you have always wanted to be. Because you already are it. You already exist it.